Hi, my name is Judy. Today I have a somewhat short Hatha Yoga practice to strengthen your feet. For this practice, you may want a couple of blocks. We are going to, at the end of this video, be massaging our feet just very briefly. So if that freaks you out a little bit, you might want a wet washcloth to clean your feet off. And we are also going to use a little ball. And that is exactly how we're going to start out. You can go ahead and pause the video and gather up your props. And to begin with, we're just going to take that ball and we're going to put it underneath between the ball of our big toe and our second toe. And we're going to try and get the heel on the ground. Let me turn so you can see what I'm doing. And just press down for about 3 seconds and then lift back up. I'm going to do that a few more times. Lift back up. And last time in that position. And then I'm going to face you again and just move it on down so you're about between your second and your third toe. Heel is still on the ground if you can get it there. And just push down and release. Push down and release. Push down and release. And then move over to the pinky toe side of your foot. Same thing. If you have feet problem, if your feet really bother you, this really simple little exercise can bring a lot of relief really quickly. Good for plantar fasciitis, not so much to get rid of it. Now bring the ball to the middle of your arch, same thing. Push down, release. In this case, we're only going to do it in the center. We're not going to move it around. Although you can go ahead and do that, see if that feels good to you. Push down, release. Push down, release. And then finally bringing it to right in front of your heel. And push down, release, letting the toes kind of release over the ball. Push down, release. Push down, release. And then this particular ball, the striped sides are for rolling. Actually, I should have used this black circle. That's for pushing into. And so then we're just going to roll from the big toe mound all the way down to your heel slowly a few times. And like I said, if you suffer from something like plantar fasciitis, if you suffer from calf pain, you can feel a whole lot of release really, really quickly with this simple exercise. It can help with those problems. It's not necessarily going to cure them, but it can help with the symptoms. And over time, it may really help with the cure. And bring that foot off. And of course, we're coming to the second foot. So, black circle up. Between the big toe and the second toe, push down, release, push down, release, push down, release. Moving towards the center of your forefoot and push down and release, push down, release, push down, release. And then moving over to the pinky side. Same thing. Moving to the middle of the arch, center of the arch. So basically the middle of your foot. Push down, release. Push down, release. Push down, release. And then coming right in front of your heel. Push down, release. Push down, release. Push down, release. And turning it to the stripe side, depending on what kind of ball you're using. And then just slowly rolling from the big toe mound all the way down to your heel. Back and forth slowly a few times. All right. You can take that ball, set it off to the side. I'm going to drop it over here. Well, no, I'm going to set it over to the side. Hopefully Bandit doesn't think that's a toy. And come to the top of your mat. Feet, all 10 toes, face forward. Go ahead and spread your toes really wide and bring your toes up off the mat, and see how that already activates the arch of your foot. Really good for strengthening the arch of your foot. And then let that go. Inhale your arms down, around and up. Thumbs hook, little back bend. Exhale, hands come to prayer and come down through the midline of your body until you're folding forward over your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Back is flat to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. Excuse me while I try and get rid of some ants. Inhale, step your left foot back, knee comes to the mat. Hook your thumbs together again, and then inhale, little back bend, lengthening out through your spine. Exhale, hands come to frame that front foot. Curl the back toes under. Inhale, lift your hips to your sky while you bring the front foot back to meet the back foot. Downward facing dog. Really pressing into the knuckles of your hand, taking some of the pressure out of your wrist. Couple of breaths here. Looking in towards your legs. And on your next inhale, step the right foot forward, left foot forward. Back knee bends, hook the thumbs. Inhale, little back bend. Exhale, arms come down. Curl the back toes under. Inhale, big step. Back foot comes to meet front foot. Fold in, forward. Inhale the arms down, around, and up. And hands come to heart center. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Reach for the sky, thumbs hook, little baby back bend. Exhale, push through the air as you bend forward over your toes. Notice where those toes are pointing. Bend in. Inhale. Step your right foot back, knee comes to the mat. Hook the thumbs together, little baby back bend. Exhale, hands come to frame the front foot. Curl your back toes under. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Maybe you go a little deeper this time. Maybe your feet get a little closer to the mat, and it doesn't really matter if they don't. On your next inhale, come forward. If plank, full chaturanga is in your wheelhouse, go ahead and take that. Otherwise, drop your knees to the mat. Maybe walk them back. Take your feet together, bring them towards your glutes. Really push into the hands to push the mat away. And then begin to bend your elbows, bring your body down in one straight line. All the way to the mat. Take your arms out on either side of the mat, wider than the mat. Tent up onto your fingertips. Really push into your back feet. Pull your abs in. And on your next inhale, come forward and up, little baby cobra. Exhale down. Take your hands down by your shoulders. And then inhale, pulling your hips towards the sky. Down dog. Let's go into a couple of breaths here. Really making sure you're looking through your legs. And inhale, look forward. Step forward with your right leg. Back knee comes to the mat. Inhale up. Lengthen through your spine. Thumbs up. Exhale, hands come to frame the front foot. Curl the back toes under. Inhale, step forward. Bending deeply over your front feet as opposed to your back feet. Inhale, a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, hook those thumbs. And come on up, really rooting into those feet. And a little baby back bend. Hands come to prayer in front of the heart. Inhale, exhale. Last sun salutation. Inhale the arms up, thumbs hook. A little back bend. Maybe you go deeper this time. Really lengthen your spine. Exhale, hands come to prayer. Down through the midline of the body. They frame the feet. Inhale, step back with your left foot. Knee comes to the mat. Inhale, hook those arms up. Again, lengthening through that spine. Exhale, hands frame that front foot. Curl the back toes under. And step back into your down dog. Take a couple breaths here. Think about the shape you're making, your triangular shape. Then inhale, coming forward, shoulders over hands, dropping knees to the mat or taking regular plank. If your knees are down on the mat, bring your feet towards your glutes, bending the elbows slowly, coming on down. The slower you go, the harder it is. And maybe you make sure that your hands are by your shoulders this time and elbows are into your body, yearning towards each other, feet press into the mat, and you take a little deeper cobra. Like getting those elbows into the body, a little reminder myself. And then curling the toes under, pushing back into down dog. Couple breaths here. Inhale, step the left foot forward. Back knee comes to the mat. Thumbs hook. Lengthen through your spine as you reach towards the sky. Exhale the arms down. Frame the front foot. Curl the back toe under. Big step. Bring the feet together. Forward bend. On your next inhale, halfway lift. Back is parallel to the sky. Exhale, fold forward. And this time we're just going to roll on up very slowly. Knees have a little bend in them. The head is the last thing to come up. And just pause here in Tadasana. If you're not familiar with Tadasana, this is what it looks like. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, begin to sit on back as if you're sitting into a chair as we move into chair pose. Lift your front toes. Inhale your arms up. And then I like to cactus my arms like this. It tends to relax our shoulders a little bit more. And take a couple breaths here. Imagine that you have a block between your legs, your upper thighs, or grab a block and put them there. I really like to do that. Inhale while keeping your chair. Bring your hands to heart center. And then inhale up onto your toes. Exhale, bring the arms back, staying up on your toes, coming back into your chair. Arms reach behind you. Inhale, push the ground away. Hands come to your heart. Exhale. Dive on down. It's as if you're getting ready to dive into a pool. One last time. Hands come into prayer, Anjali Mudra. You're up on your toes. Exhale. You're ready to dive into a pool or a lake. Inhale. Back up. Exhale. Arms into Tadasana. Relax your shoulders. They may have crept up a little bit towards your ears. Then we're going to do another chair pose variation. So begin to squat. Hands come down to the earth. And again, come into Anjali Mudra. And then again, pushing the earth away. And this time we're going to keep our hands where they are. We're going to squat as far as you can go. And you're free to have a couple of blocks to hold on to if that's right for your body. And try to imagine you are sliding your back down a wall. All the way down, if possible. Perfectly okay to stop anywhere along the journey. And then really pushing into your toes. Contracting your abs, trying to slide back up that wall. We're going to do a couple more. Exhale down. Make sure you're not in pain. If you're in pain, it means you've gone too far, and please back off. Really root into those toes and pull into those abs and into those glutes. You're going to feel that. And last time, maybe you go a little deeper this time. This is a practice I've been doing for a while. I was having a few little aches and pains here and there. Last time, push the earth away. And let that go. Come back into Tadasana for a few breaths. So I created this practice for myself. I was having random Achilles tendon aches. I was having some high hamstring tendonitis, or at least aches in that area. I created this practice. It seemed to work on those little niggles. I can't promise that it will for you. But whether or not you have any pain, this is a great foot and leg strengthening practice. So come to face the short end of your mat again. Take your feet a little wider than hip width apart. Take your hands into Anjali Mudra or take them onto your hips. I'm going to go ahead and put them on my hips right now. And then inhale, grow your spine a little longer. Exhale, take a big step back with your left leg. Really pushing into that back heel, bending that front knee as close to parallel to the mat as you can get. Take a couple of breaths here. Maybe taking your hands to Anjali Prayer Mudra. Legs are very active. Think of pushing into that back foot all the way up through the crown of your head. And then begin to step that back foot in a little bit. Foot is angled out a little bit. Really root into those feet. I like to take reverse prayer. So you come behind your back like this. So like this. If that is not available to you, go ahead and grab your elbows. If that's not available, go ahead and grab a strap. Okay, I'm going to get back into reverse prayer. It can be a little awkward. And then inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, begin to fold forward. This is another place a block can be handy. And then come down as far as is comfortable in your body. Legs are straight. A few breaths here. Inhale, really push into all your toes, all the sides of your feet. Bring yourself up, the abs. Go ahead and bring those hands back to Anjali Mudra. Really pressing into that right front foot, coming up onto the ball of your back foot, pulling the abs in, and raise your back foot however high you can get it. And if you fall out, no big deal, just come back into it. Then bend your knee. Feel free to hold on to a chair here or a block. Straighten. Bend your knee. And straighten. And bend your knee. And straighten. And slowly bring both feet back to the front of your mat. Let that go. Pause in Tadasana. Notice the difference one side to the other. And we are going to go to our second side. So feet a little wider than hip width apart. Hands on the hips, hands in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, big step back with your right foot. Front knee bends, close to parallel to the mat. Getting your thigh as close to the parallel of the mat as possible. Really pushing through that back foot. Take a couple breaths here. Crescent Lunge. Then step that back leg in a little bit. Foot is angled out, roughly 30 degrees. Both legs are straight. The hips are facing towards the short end of the mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, begin to fold forward over your left leg. And of course, I did do reverse prayer pose with my hands the other side, and I forgot to do it here. So you can always go ahead. I'm not going to do it. It's a little awkward. You can always come out if that's what you want to do. Come into it. Whichever variation you did on the other side is usually good to do on both sides to even us out. It could be a little knee bend in the knee. And pushing into the feet to come back up. Exhale, bring your hands to Anjali Mudra in front of your heart. Begin to come up onto the ball of the back foot. Really push into that front foot. Spread the toes wide. Bring your abs in. Push into your hands and begin to tip over. Warrior 3, Virabhadasana 3. And then bend that knee a little, straighten, a little, and straighten, and a little, and straighten, and then set it down. Okay, you made it through the hard part. Take a couple of breaths in Tadasana. And then come on down to your mat. As I said, we're going to finish up with a really quick foot massage. And for this, you have two options. We'll see, I may have to film this a little closer. Let me turn so you can see what I'm doing. Here we go. All right. So, one option is simply to bend the elbow of your opposite arm and just use that. Just dig into that foot. Well, not dig into it, but put some pressure on the foot. This is just a really quick and dirty massage for your feet, but they will thank you for it. Now, the other option is make a fist with your hand and just go like this. And you're just going from your heel, through your arch, through the mounds under your toes, through your toes. If you have sciatica, going up the side by your big toe may give you some relief. Going up and down, that's from a reflexology point of view. And then go ahead and grab the top of your foot, taking your thumb into your arch, and go ahead and begin to rub into your arch and just circle your ankle in one direction as you're rubbing into that arch, and then come back in the other direction. Now take your fingers and insert them between your toes. I know some people are really squeamish about this, but your toes are meant to be spread. And again, go ahead and circle your ankle in one direction and then the other. Your feet are meant to be apart. They're not meant to be squished into shoes all day long. And that's it on one foot. Let's go ahead and do the second foot. Again, turn to face you. And choose how you want to do it. Maybe you do both. You put a little weight onto your hand as you come forward a little bit, getting the heel and the arch, the toe mounds, the toes, And then maybe just using your elbow. Just really quick. A little bit on the sciatica point. And taking your thumb to your arch and the rest of your fingers wrap around the front of your foot and circle in one direction. Giving that arch a little love, a little massage, and then circle in the other. And then take your hand, your fingers between your toes. Really get them all the way up to the tops of your finger. And circle in one direction. And then circle in the other. And there you have it. That's a really quick practice that is going to get into your feet. They're going to strengthen your feet. This is the sort of practice, I don't say you should do it every day, probably a little overkill, but a few times a week, it could be really helpful. I like to do this on the days that I run at the moment, but I can tell you the things that were bothering me, that went away pretty quickly once I started this particular practice. Of course, I'm not a medical doctor, I'm not a physical therapist, so always check with them if you have actual acute injuries to make sure that this is appropriate for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. And if you want to know when more videos are added to this channel, go ahead and click subscribe.